Hello there, and welcome back for another story. I hope you're having a fantastic time, keeping up on your work, and making sure you're keeping in touch with your class teachers. Today's story has only recently come out. It's one of my become one of my favourite authors, Minnie Gray. You might have heard of some of her other work, particularly Traction Man. So she writes some fantastic books, and I really like this one because it's quite poignant. And it's called The Last Wolf. One day, Little Red put on her hunting hat and boots, flung her popgun on her back, packed up her lunchbox with some supplies, and said to her mum, "I'm off to catch a wolf." That's all right, thought Red's mum to herself. There hasn't been a wolf around here for at least 100 years. "Good luck, Red," she said, "and don't be late for tea." Red went stalking through the forest. She lurked behind a tree and jumped out on a bin bag. She slithered through the bracken and pounced on a tree stump. Red wandered deeper into the forest. It grew shadowy and she lost her path. There was hooling noises and grabby twigs. Red started to run. She ran and tripped. But what was this? Some sort of door. She tried the doorknob and knocked and banged, and the door was opened by the last wolf in the land. The last wolf was living in a cosy tree cave, along with the last lynx, which is a type of cat, big cat, and the last bear. "You must be a human child," said the last wolf. "I've never seen one up close before. Come in and sit down. You're just in time for some tea." "I didn't know wolves drank tea," said Red. "There may be quite a few things you don't know," said the last wolf. They gave Red a cup of tea and told her all about the good old days, when there were endless miles of forest to run through and 1,000 tasty grazing beasts to bite. If you look carefully, you can see, if we go back, lots of animals. When the world was awash with flowers and bees and dripping with honey. When you could just lie on a branch and wait for lunch to wander right under your paws. Nowadays, catching a square meal is a difficult business. The pickings are slim and the packaging is hard to get into. You might be able to see that. Well, look, rather than catching their own food, some of the wild animals are now having to go into towns and cities to just rummage through the dustbins to try and find food. And it can be quite hard because A, there's not much food in them, and actually getting to the packaging is quite tricky. They looked longingly at Little Red. "My, what huge, hungry eyes you all have," she said. And out of her lunchbox, she took a hard-boiled egg, a sausage roll, a chicken sandwich, and an apple. "It's not very fast on its feet, this egg," said the wolf. The lynx chased the chicken sandwich around and round the cave until it was wounded. "It's quite easy to catch this sausage roll," said the bear. Red ate the apple and wondered how she could help. But it had grown late. "It's getting dark," said Red, "and I need to go. My mum will be starting to miss me." She thought of the shadowy wild wood that was waiting outside. "I think," said the last wolf, "we'd better walk with you until you find your path." So Little Red, the last wolf, and the last bear, and the last lynx wound their way back through the lost woods that were left. And if you look, it's again quite poignant. So when you think of it as a large forest, but the reality is it's just a small cluster of trees completely surrounded by houses and buildings. Until they reached the very last tree and saw the lights of Red's home and her mum missing her. "Don't forget your lunchbox," said the last bear. "Goodbye, you wild things," said Red. "I think I know what you need." But they had already gone. After dinner, Red's mum found a sign on Red's bedroom door. "Wanted. More trees, please. If you see some, tell Red." "Well, we'd better make some," said Red's mum. "All you need is a seed, some earth, sun, air, water, and, for a really wonderful tree, about 100 years. One day, these trees will be amazing." And can you see? Let me just go back again. They've just planted some saplings here, and just behind you can see the wolf, the bear, and the lynx trying to disguise themselves and watching the trees. And look, all wild things welcome, as these trees, those 3 saplings, have grown into enormous big trees, of which the animals are now resting in again. I love this story because it's something that's quite current, isn't it? Where we're trying to encourage nature to come back and support it, and planting trees is probably one of the best things you can do, which is the reason why I think this story is great. I hope you enjoyed it, and perhaps that's something you might want to consider doing in your own garden. See if you can find some seeds to plant. I hope you're all keeping well, staying safe, looking after one another, and I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.